Good evening, beautiful and wonderful Facebook family. It's always a delight to welcome you to Peace Talk with Mercy. We are starting a bit late today. We're supposed to start by 4 p.m., but we are starting a bit late. It took me some time to get to my guest location because most of the roads in Abuja are presently blocked by protesters who are protesting for the end of SARS, the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Though a pronouncement has been made by the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Abubakar Damu, yesterday to end or dissolve or disband, SARS, but Nigerians are still protesting. They are making more demands, and thank God the government is like having a listening ear and trying to give Nigerians what we want. But is it just to ban the SARS? Don't we want more than that? Don't we want to see the end, to police brutality and all kinds of misconduct of those who are supposed to protect us, and then our lives are endangered in their hands? So there's so much to discuss today. And guys, I have a security expert here who will be throwing light to the happening concerning the ban or disbandment of SARS, and Nigerians are on the street. We need to talk to ourselves how best to go about the thing we want. Before I let my guest begin to talk to us, I would like to briefly read his profile. Meanwhile, thank you guys for joining. I would like to hear from you. A thumbs up to let me know you are on the show. What do you think about the protest going on? What is your take? Do you think we should reform SARS, or we should end SARS, or we should just reform the entire police force? Please let me hear from you. Thank you for joining. I want to see thumbs up from you, but I'm going to read my guest profile and we'll kickstart our discussion immediately. My guest is Prince Kevin Fyneface. He specializes in business advisory solutions, the provision of security solutions for household and corporate bodies. He is a state security certified VIP protective detail, certified surveillant with more than 2 decades in the security industry, 2 decades experience in the security industry. He sure has something to tell us concerning the disbandment of SARS. So you're welcome to Peace Talk with Mercy.
My pleasure.
Prince Kevin Fyneface. It's always a delight to have you on Peace Talk with Mercy. And then you're red beret. What is that all about?
It's basically, advocacy. As a public good advocate, this is something I believe that. So, join faith with the youths who are on the streets. I just came into Abuja. I've been away for 2 weeks, and it's a bit hard to put because whatever I do for going on in South Kaduna, the issues in the country. Which is more like solidarity to the things that are happening. Yeah.
Wow. Very sad incident. You lost someone recently, and all of that. So thank you guys for joining. And SARS completely. That is what someone is saying already. So you guys, we need to hear from him. Should we end SARS completely, or we just need to reform the whole, security, system, and how do we go about it? Or what
now, for Nigerians to cry out for the end of SARS, it shows that there's been major excesses.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ask me, should we end SARS? The answer is yes.
Whoa.
Should we stop there? The answer is no. What do? We need to completely reform the Nigerian police and other security agencies. Remember, I've been on Peace Talk before, talking about the recruitment process, which is looking of. About 2 years ago, my nephew was picked up in the street of Port Harcourt. He had bags and tattoo, picked up by SARS, taken to the office. The mother was crying. They called me. I was restless. Everybody, because once they take you there, nobody comes in early. Then extrajudicial killing is taken. Just you're gone. Nobody gets to know. They moved around and we moved around, and finally it came out. In fact, they had to even confess to a crime never committed.
Wow.
After that pickup, because when they drill you, the approach with which they extract information from suspects is something else. So when you look at their operational pattern, they are not different from daredevil criminals. Now, some of them have been exceptional in their approach in solving crimes, in anti-robbery pursuit or kidnapping. They've done so well. Some of them have done so well. I've lived above board. But majority of them have not done so well. Are proven to not be qualified for such office.
You say majority of
yeah,
them.
majority
Really?
of them. Because
I think there are just some few bad
no,
eggs.
not some few.
The word majority.
No, listen, when we don't have SARS having this prevalence in the north.
Yeah.
We have it in the south. And all of the reports from the south, all of the report from the south, the worst they have done, the bad they have done is much more than the good they have done. I did some tweets, over the weekend, stating that yes, they've been doing some good things, some good jobs and done, but the evil, the bad that has taken place, much more
outweighs the good.
The good. So it means that they are no longer needed. Now, when SARS was, founded in 1992, it was because of the prevalence of robbery. You have the Anani robbery was taking place in Benin. You have Chino Rambo in Lagos, going back and forth, doing trans-border robbery. You have some other ones in the east, going. So robbery was like the order of the day at that time, and so this was.
When we had Anani.
That was almost the same period. The Anani period came in prior to that 1992, but it was that same period that you have that experience now, and SARS came up, in Lagos. Then Michael Kiro was there, I think, and I forgot the commissioner of police as at that time. The need for that to be established, because the man who headed that department from the beginning did so well in being taking care of robbers as a superior police. One, he's retired as a commissioner. I think Simeon. He retired as a commissioner of police. So he had that he started this and even called it the name special anti-robbery, because they have different robbery anti-robbery departments in the police. They already have the anti-robbery departments in the FCID, all of those things, then. So when it was mandated to replicate what they did, the success that they did in Benin, you had to call it Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Their pattern then was to wait. They use unmanned vehicle, painted plain vehicles, not police vehicles. They have plain clothes. They don't display their weapons like they do now. And what they do is to lay ambush to wally the robbers and apprehend them, fill them up, and hand over to prosecution. Once they get anything they can, if they bring other cases, that's what they used to do then. And so they were effective. Once they saw there's a robbery taking place in a particular place, they get out there, follow the monitor the radio, and know where these people are moving to, and they just get them and they gun them down, or pick up the ones that they can. That's what they were effective. They were very effective. It really helped. Better forces. Now, part of the reason this banned, SARS, is that when you look at the lifestyle of this operatives, that something is wrong. Wow.
But let's take some questions as we continue, in that line of discussion. You say, why are these SARS not in the north? You mentioned that, is there not robbery in the north? Are there crimes, in the north? So, DJ Ademola, thank you for that question and contribution. He said that most of the things, most of the judicial killing and most reported in the other part of the country, in the north. So why are SARS officials not present in the north?
I don't think.
Why are such reports not coming from that
I don't
side?
think they are not present there, because in every police formation you find a department of SARS in that area. It's just that they are not as effective or prevalent as they are in southern part, because there is a particular type of risk, security threat that is prevalent in the northern part of Nigeria, which has to do with banditry, has to have an element of religious inclination.
So you're saying that the SARS in that area, they are more busy, so
they don't really they are not busy.
Civilians.
So a lot of them will be looking for it to be transferred to the south, where they can easily make good money.
Oh.
Yeah, I say good money because if they see you with phones, they see you with anything, they pick these things. If you can't give them a proof of purchase, it's gone. In some cases, if you can give them proof of purchase, you need to also bill that, and that's money. Or they just come up with charges and they pick you up. You have to be billed, and they don't bill you with 1,000 or 10,000. The minimum that you can find yourself being billed at there is around 200, 150 to 200,000. So if that's what is going on,
that's just extortion.
People will always be picked up, so that they can always bail themselves out. If you don't have anything, so look, I don't want to say certain things, but the call is not out of place. The call to ban SARS is not out of place. And if I am part of the police authority, or if I need to advise the government, is to listen to the cry of the people. And
I think they are doing that.
No, what they have done, this is the 4th time that we've had this kind of disbandment. You know, first the IG came out to say they've asked them to no unnecessary stop and search any longer, and that there must be an uniform, stuff like that. Until on Sunday, it came out with was it Sunday?
On Sunday, yeah.
It came out with a ban that they've been banned. But the powers to do that, to completely now, of course, the IG has the power to disband information for review, for the purposes of review, to make it better if it's not working. This is what they should have done long ago, right? There should have been proper supervision. Why would the office of the SARS office be supervised from Abuja? How do you effectively supervise it? It's supposed to be state-based supervision. So every state that you have SARS, there's supposed to be, a commissioner, maybe a district deputy commissioner of police, right? Or assistant commissioner of police to head that department who is averse with such kind of crime.
So you're saying that is not on ground now?
No, that's not on ground. You have commanders who is under a commissioner of police that is in Abuja. And so what that does, that red tape gives room for a lot of, undercurrent activities. And what you find that people do is always give reports. So whoever is getting good returns from the operations, bring returns back to the Oga at the top. And so it goes on.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that, but can we really prove? Is there
no, of course, no.
Are there proven cases? Because
you see, Nigeria is more like a cobweb country.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so by the time you point out something, the people that are involved in that thing, it's something they don't get into.
Yeah.
The ripples effect of the revelation.
So they do it so well that you really can't
discover
them.
You can't discover them, but the energy with which you go through that is not something you want to start because you can't finish it. Do you get it?
Yeah.
There's proof. They pay for deployment.
So I've seen like videos of people make of policemen collecting bribes on the road.
I just came out
wondering what kind of discipline they receive.
I have tweets I made over the weekend. I was driving through some places in Takot, and what you find once it is getting to after 4 to 5, there's a swift checkpoint. Don't do anything but to collect money from commercial vehicles. I saw it.
Wow.
I saw it.
Wow.
And so what I did immediately was to highlight the Nigerian police that there's a swift checkpoint at some location, just right opposite the divisional police headquarters.
Yeah.
They are there. What they do is that they look, okay, you pass, I saw when they were collecting money. And 90 road, the same thing. And what this swift checkpoint does, it builds up traffic.
Yeah.
Because it's also the rush hour period for people to go home. So because they're doing these checks, it wasn't supposed to be, it was because of the commercial vehicles. So you see them, they know that they must pay, drop. They also collect change. In fact, some of the ones I saw, they were also collecting change.
Well, it's actually common knowledge that happens in Nigeria now, but the shocking thing is that nothing is being done. It continues in the system, and then nobody is addressing that.
Somebody is benefiting at the top. When you finish all the operation, they give records, right? And they reach out. Because they reach out, they returns. They reach out, they're always giving a blind eye. Nobody has to do it. If it's too obvious, they change pattern. Like when I reported, the next time I drove through those areas, the checkpoints are no longer there.
Wow.
because they responded.
Wow. Can you imagine? A lot needs to be done, but we need to take some questions now. Thank you so much, Dora, for joining. And then what is the government going to do to reform police? By mere dissolving SARS is not enough, removing the nomenclature just has not solved the problem. I agree with you, Dora.
I agree.
For me, it is a nomenclature because it really does not solve any problem. So what really can be done, to ensure that we really end police brutality and reform the police?
The new police reform bill that the president just signed, I have not really read
not
through.
got yet.
But some of the snippets, the excerpt that I've read, shows that SARS is not even supposed to be in existence as it is. The approach to SARS is not so part of what is allowed in that law.
Oh.
Yes.
Really?
Because see, interrogation, there is an international standard for interrogation. You don't tap somebody on the road and place allegation on the person, and that is them. SARS is the accuser, is the prosecutor, is the law, and is the judge. That's what they do.
But does the reform
bill? Yes, because you have to go to court. We have rule of law that is supposed to be, established to take care of these things. If someone is alleged to have committed a crime, you present your facts in the courts of law. Then the law has the responsibility to convict. But what SARS does is to kill. We waste this person. We can't leave you because go to court, they'll set you free and they waste you. And the person is gone. In some cases are just mere allegations. And you also find them getting into civil matters. It's supposed to be special anti-robbery squad. But you find them in husband and wife issues. They find them in
phone issues,
phone issues. You find them
issues.
They are loan collectors. In some cases in Abuja, they won't kill some people because of loan collection. Yeah, because they get provoked.
I heard that the people being owed promised them a part, of the money.
There was a time I was threatened in Abuja. I was called, I was threatened on phone, and that some persons took my picture and number, everything, for them to, assassinate me. Mm-hmm. And so I got to SARS office, and I was asked to bring money for them to help to track. And I said, look, I brought this information because this is something you can work on. This is good fish. You get, but I want to bring money for it to be tracked, and I didn't bring money. I knew what it was. I know what I needed to do to go to my amateur and just say, this was happening. But because the police is responsible for this, I went to the office and I was asked to bring some money. It was about 8,000 to start the initial process of tracking. I'm reporting a crime, an intended crime, but I was asked money to get that sorted out.
Wow. So in addressing Dara's question, there's a bill already that has been signed by
President
Buhari to reform the police.
To reform the police,
And in that bill, there's a form of thing, that
all of these things are addressed, the recruitment process, psychological. The last time we talked about for psychological analysis to be done, psychological profiling before recruitment. Yeah. Part of the challenge I think we also have is because I should say majority of those employed into this special terrorist squad have not been properly profiled.
Yeah, I agree.
And so what you now see, the excesses that is being shown, the reason why they would go to such level of business to want to make this money at all costs and don't mind who they kill and all of that is because they are not psychologically prepared for that responsibility. You find that all over
so how do you prepare them psychologically?
It's simple. You first do a psychological profiling to be sure that this person that you're going to give this weapon has the mental alertness to hold that weapon. That's what they call normal safety, precaution. You don't point a weapon at someone you don't want to shoot. But you find that happens several times. They just
do you know have been pointed? Yeah, it's gonna be pointed at me before by a DSS officer.
Really?
Really?
Why?
And I'm thankful to God that I survived it. But not a lot of people, I would like to tell their stories now. But it happened to me. And I tried to follow up, largely, but at a point I had to let go for several reasons.
Okay.
But then I also think the mental, health condition of our officers, goes a long way to even let them know that there are certain things they can't do, even as a person.
Our recruitment process is oftentimes bedeviled with ethnic religious sentiments. So you find people who are not qualified in those places being given such job. If SSS needs to do recruitment, if police done recruitment recently, I read a post by a House of Rep member who was boastful of being able to recruit about 35 people into the Nigerian police.
His region.
His own, one person having 35 candidates.
That was achievement according to him.
According to him. So what does that tell you? It means that the people that will be recruited, they actually lobby for those who are not even qualified. So they get into the system, they go on with such level of irresponsibility because they are not qualified. They get through the training process, they become officers, they go ahead to show one to prove. In advance, they go through psychological profiling. They have to check sure you're really qualified for the job mentally first before you get to academics. It's a weapon. You don't want to go and use your problem. Like you said, the GSS guy who pointed this, that's a mental issue.
Mental issue as far as
because for whatever that was led to such kind of action is something that one need to be properly addressed. Because honestly, might be a victim.
That's interesting. I said so back story, but
and imagine what it could have done to you also psychologically. You would have been so traumatized in that process. And that's why sometimes I don't like to bury things in context of burying things. Somebody to actually address them. But like you said, for personal reasons, you actually let go. But I know it doesn't happen another time, and we need to begin to hold our officers and men accountable. It is important. So part of the reforms that needed to be done. First, the president should not have the sole power to appoint the IG of police. That in itself is a counterproductive measure because the IG of police will be subjected. Because IG of police to the top of the president, he has to listen to the body language, of the president before he could do anything. And that is, but if the IG of police is going to be appointed by the National Assembly, what they will do is that the third majority will be the one that will bring him. His job is secure, so they only do what I call dressing. It's a commission. When Mago was not confirmed, he still worked in EFC until he was disgraced out of EFC. What does that tell you? It tells you the forty state with which we recruit. When the president has the capacity, the sole capacity for iron and fire, you cannot get professional attributes from the operations. It's the same thing with the service chiefs. The president should not be the one to hire and fire them. Because
and just be calling for the sack of service chiefs.
And so imagine if it was the National Assembly that appointed the service chiefs and they're not doing well, what would have happened? By now they would have voted them out, and they would have gone. Once the people have the power to hire and fire, those who are given responsibility will be more effective. Because if the IG cannot be sacked by anybody, now we are calling for the disbandment of SAS. The president backing, it maintains. It doesn't even want to see the people they have to shoot. The protesters who will seem to say, look, this to press on that point. If the president is not the one who is supposed to fire him, and his boys, those on him know that the people can sack him, right? Everybody will take rest, will sit up. It goes across all security agencies. We need to be able to take away this dictatorial tendency that we are placed in the hands of the president. Not Buhari per se. The president of Nigeria has high level of dictatorial powers in the law. We need to take those powers out of him and give the power to the people. That's one of the ways to reform the Nigerian police. Secondly, is that when there is opening for recruitment, there should not be allocation slots to Senate President, the First Lady, and all of the political elected officials and appointees. Because what happens is that once there's a window for recruitment, they are all giving slots to bring in people. By the time they fill their slots with those who are not qualified for the job.
There's a federal clause that says they should recruit from in various parts of the country,
which is to reflect federal character. But what they do, they give these slots. By the time they fill the slots, they are filling the slot with people who are not qualified for the job, who don't have the interest of the job, who don't have the passion of the job, because they have the authority. They come with such level of arrogance and begin to display gross ineffectiveness in the decision of their responsibility. So you now see that when they go out to do the job, you have to pray a assignment. You're going to be fine, you're responsible. You will do right. So they are no longer accountable now. Imagine somebody is not doing right and then you need to sack him. In that case, there was a president that brought that person. What would you think? You won't sack him. Maybe what you would do is to transfer him to another department. Even at that. So those are the things that are the challenges. So you see,
so it talks about the president of the Soul to the
yes,
IGP,
and
it talks about the allotment given to
all of the
Senate people, to
the senators and the rest of the they all have slots.
People, they have slots, and they want to do that. Should they even get their members or family members or friends who are qualified mentally? I'm not saying that is right, but I'm just saying even if
we don't have the time to do it. Nepotism does not give room for professionalism. Nepotism does not give room for merit. Yeah. Nepotism gives room for unprofessional conduct and low standard provision. That's what nepotism gives room.
Thank you everyone for joining me, seeing your comments, and my guests have said so much. We honestly, don't have that listen to people, just as your guests have said. First time we are having the issue of banning and reforming SARS. The government don't listen to the people. I think they listen. That's why they keep coming and say, but maybe they don't implement.
The government, yes, but
thank you today, Josh Ademola, for that contribution. More that will address, but thank you guys for it. Okay.
I got government oftentimes only reacts when they feel some element of embarrassment.
Yeah.
Before they call to ban SARS, 2 years ago, was this call? The Vice President as President called for the ban of SARS. That they were banned. He made a statement because of the inhuman conduct and the fact that the statement was made. That was like the first time we got that 2017, 2018. That okay, they've been banned, SARS has been banned, blah blah blah. Why was it so? Because there was this outcry in media of the killings that took place and it became a national harassment. Government not respond from the beginning until international media started covering protests. Now you could also see that there was a deliberate conniving attempt by Nigerian media. Media houses failed to cover, though they had the stories, but failed to broadcast the stories.
But that is actually because a lot of
now because all out, because the users started calling them out, then foreign media started reporting them, and in their ratings, in order to lose their ratings, they have to start reporting mildly about the protests. Why would the government wait until protests get to step before responding, before reacting? Because they're not really responding to the cause of the people. It is because those in government, those in authority, those like the not being accountable to the people are responsible enough the people, they believe that the loyalty to the president until the president speaks. So if I am police boss, why do I wait for the president to give me go ahead? What I know is not right or what is right. The reason I'm the police boss is because I have the capacity. I know I need to analyze.
Okay, because right now the IGP has gone ahead to make the
because
but
the IGP
still Nigerians are saying until the president comes out to say
that, so that there won't be anything like that anymore. It was the IGP came out after meeting with the president. The president also made a statement that the IGP go and reform the they can trust the blah blah blah. The IGP kept to give us the statement on Sunday. The IGP does not need to be the president before it's banning SARS. If they've been the lack of supervision, the SSS of the operations, what he needed to do was he gives the to stop it. The other thing is, he has to make an analysis to show, okay, how have we been successful with this government? This was a social post level. What is of robbery today in the country? Do we see